What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from AnimeUproar, and I'm back at it again to discuss the latest episode of the Attack on Titan final season. This episode showed us what happened during the time skip and after our side returned to Paradise Island along with Zeke. So make sure to stay tuned for this one. If you do enjoy seeing these Attack on Titan videos and want to keep them coming, then the best thing you can do is Warhammer smash that like button and share this video with any Attack on Titan fans that you know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial. Hit that notification bell and select all, or you will miss future Attack on Titan videos. And while you wait for the next insane episode to drop, feel free to check out our growing Attack on Titan playlist, where we got videos about all the Titan shifters and their powers, the Acromans and their powers, the Titans ranked from weakest to strongest, and much more. Link to that is in the description. Now without further ado, let's jump into it. No manga spoilers, only this anime episode. Spoilers, obviously. So this episode is called Brave Volunteers, and as I briefly mentioned, a good portion of it is taking place during the time skip, so a flashback. It's framed with Armin holding a seashell and talking to someone. Remember that the sea and the seashell in particular represented freedom, adventure, and optimism for both Armin and Eren. They always dreamed of going outside the walls and seeing all the stuff Armin heard about from a book of the outside world, where it mentioned a body of salt water so large that you can never run out of it. You'd have to be crazy inside the walls to believe such a thing, but Eren and Armin did and couldn't wait to see it one day. When they finally did make it to the sea and Armin picked up that seashell, it was a much more optimistic time. As Armin will later tell Annie, who he's talking to, it was fun back then, meaning before Eren attacked Marley. In the flashback, Eren used his Attack Titan powers to lift the Marleyan ships that were approaching the island. They'd take the ships, which were a source of useful technological information for them. Remember, they do have to catch up in regards to technology and specifically weapon technology so that they won't get destroyed by the world and particularly Marley. Yelena also came, Zeke's devoted follower. The Eldian side had Niccolo as a hostage to use against Marley, but obviously the Marleyan leader didn't care. He was about to release fire when Yelena shot him and agreed to speak with Hanji. Yelena, Onyankopon, and the others are the volunteers. Many of them were from conquered nations that felt helpless and hopeless against Marley's might, until Zeke, who Yelena views as a god, gave them hope of resisting Marley. This is a very interesting twist, and it's also interesting hearing about the ramifications that the island Eldians beating the warrior unit and stealing 2 of Marley's Titan powers had on the rest of the world. A lot of nations unified and rebelled, and keep in mind, this was 3 years ago from the present day. So the Fort Slava battle at the beginning of the season was pretty much Marley wrapping up those conflicts that popped up due to what happened on Paradise Island. They didn't immediately counterattack the island because, despite having advanced technology and even advanced aerial technology, a detail which freaked Hanji out by the way, they still had their hands full. And ironically, the pure titans around the walls that they created to keep the island devils in fear and trap them inside also discouraged them because the idea of them made land attacks pretty impossible to carry out. Before this piece of information, the fact that the islanders defeated all the pure titans seemed like a huge accomplishment. But now it's like, oh no, what have we done? Luckily though, Yelena and the others did come to help, and so there is still hope. As Yelena says, what Zeke reportedly wants is to free the Eldian people. And they, the anti-Marleyan volunteers, are here to help make sure that happens. Obviously, a lot of people don't want to trust Zeke. And you can understand where they're coming from completely. The dude, as was mentioned, almost wiped out the Survey Corps, and now they're supposed to trust him. It obviously seems like he's just trying to get Eren the founding Titan power. And that might have been it, the end of Zeke's secret plan, if Eren didn't step in. By the way, if you want to know exactly what this secret plan entails, I just dropped a video today about it, so you can check it out, link in the description, but I won't go into manga spoilers here, so if you're in anime only, let me know what you suspect Zeke's plan to be and how he plans to carry it out. But anyways, Zeke's half-brother Eren mentions that Zeke speaks the truth. When he, the founding Titan user, came into contact with the royal-blooded Titan Dina Fritz, aka Zeke's mom, he was able to control Titans. He had access to the founding Titan's power for a brief time. He kept it to himself because he didn't want them to turn Historia into a Titan so he could use the powers, but now he's willing to say that Zeke's right. And of course, if anyone empathizes with the idea of freeing Eldians, it's Eren. Eren's stand combined with the fact that they didn't really have another option due to Marleyan technology being way more advanced leads to the Eldians working with the anti-Marleyan volunteers. And as Armin said, this was a fun time because yes, they were hated by many people, but there were people people who were on their side, like Yelena and Onyankopon. Even Niccolo changed. He once wanted to die rather than work with the Eldians, but after cooking for Sasha, that all changed. Connie clearly had some competition in Niccolo for Sasha's affections because Sasha loves food, and as she pointed out, Niccolo was a food genius. Connie mentioned that Sasha was like a twin to him, but Niccolo would always get red-faced around her. He apparently loved her and how much she loved his cooking. And when you're dealing with a girl like Sasha, the way to her heart is definitely through her stomach. Sasha was as lovable as always during this flashback and would randomly take naps, get overjoyed about food, and all those other awesome Sasha things. These moments hit all the harder because we know she is destined to die in the future. During this time, you have these relationships form between the two sides. Still though, the majority of the Marleyans get arrested because they do not want to help the Islanders. And here we get to see why and how Eren starts straying away from the others. He knows that their time is running out. Zeke only has 3 years left. His time is quickly running out before Emir's curse takes place and he dies or passes on his power. For Armin and Mikasa, the key is time. Given enough time, people can understand each other. And Armin and Mikasa are a bit too idealistic for Eren because Armin believes that threatening the world with wall titans will make them look like the devils people say they are. Armin is hesitant. He wants to wait and solve this peacefully. But as Eren says, they need time that they don't have, and so he's going to buy that time. And if buying that time means attacking Marley, making contact with Zeke, and activating the rumbling and the colossal titans in the walls, he is down to do it. So by himself, he decides to attack Marley. Because of this, he scares the world and gets Zeke, so now they have access to the rumbling, and hopefully people won't attack them for fear of being wiped out by the insanely powerful founding titan. Looking back now from the present tense, Armin wonders if threatening the world and killing all those people was the only way, especially since it led to Sasha's death. But he admits that he had to do it, especially after Eren attacked. Had he not destroyed the port, they would have immediately counterattacked Paradise Island. He compares himself to Annie, who he feels like probably felt the same way. She didn't want to attack the Islanders, but she felt like she had to do it. Again, Attack on Titan is so good at showing all of these different perspectives and how no one really knows what the right choice is or if they made it. We do get to see people in the present visiting Sasha at her grave. Niccolo actually gets terribly beaten up because his people, the Marleyans, put most of these people in graves. He's not even bothered by it because he feels so bad and angry about what happened to Sasha. But this again shows how the Islanders are just as capable of prejudice as the Marleyans who view them all as devils. We get a really touching moment where Niccolo offers to cook Sasha's family the food she loved so much. They could show the same prejudice the guy beating him up did. However, her father reaches his hand out and accepts the offer. We see this glimpse of hope. We see how people can cross racial and cultural lines and come together. But the reality of the situation is, some people are much more prejudiced than these guys. And if it is possible for them to change, then how much time are we talking? There is hope, but Eren doesn't want to die waiting for something to happen. As always, he'd rather fight and do everything he can to ensure his people's safety. You might remember during the first season, Eren deeply regretted trusting the Levi squad to take out the female Titan because it got them killed. I'm sure this haunts him to this day, and even though Armin and the others want him to place his trust in them, he's afraid that if he leaves it to them, his friends will die like last time. And then we figure out that in the present, things are not quite going as the Jaeger brothers planned. After finally coming together, Levi actually is keeping Zeke arrested for all intents and purposes. He's taking him away from Eren and to the Titan Forest, where he could easily cut him down if he changed into the Beast Titan. By the way, fun fact, here in the anime we do have Zeke mentioning how Levi is staring at him, but in the manga he also says that if he keeps staring at him like that, he'll pee his pants. But moving on, similarly, Pixis and the others have turned on Zeke's followers and it seems like they'll be imprisoned. Finally, Eren seems to be in jail too, in the underground where they usually keep Titan Shifter prisoners. Also, Gabby and Falco are in prison, and you can see why Gabby is just gonna keep getting more hate. Even after she killed our precious potato girl, she's not sad about it. She's just furious and directing all her energy towards hating Eren. At this point, her face reminds me of Azula from Avatar after she goes off the deep end. And let me know what you're thinking now. Do you believe that they should be separating Zeke and Eren and arresting all the people that helped them advance their technology so they'd actually have a fighting chance against Marley? I must admit, for me, when I was first reading this in the manga, this seemed pretty stupid on their end. They are leaving themselves completely vulnerable to an attack now that they finally have the power to keep the Island safe, they have separated the two key ingredients so they can't use it. I get them not trusting Zeke, but come on, you could have at least kept them closer in the case the power is needed. But hey, those are just my thoughts, let me know yours. We close off this part with Mikasa and Eren talking to themselves, repeating what they've been repeating since they were kids and Eren saved Mikasa from the kidnappers, and then Mikasa in turn saved Eren from a third one. They're saying fight or die, win and live. The only way to win is to fight. This is clearly Eren's philosophy and is keeping him going despite all the horrors he's had to commit, which include ending the lives of children. While Armin might be wishing and even believing there might be another way, a peaceful way, Eren doesn't resonate with that. For him, such a plan is akin to waiting to get killed, and he'd rather fight for his life and the lives of his people than stand by and put the fate of the world in the hands of his enemies. In the preview, we're told kill their enemies to live, not a soul knows if it's the right choice. That's exactly it. It's easy to argue with Eren and philosophize about another way like Armin wants to do, but no one is sure that Eren's choice wasn't the right one, and no one's sure they have a better plan. Let me know your thoughts. What would you do right now if you were from Paradise Island? I'll also mention that there was a nice moment where Sasha was curious about why Onyankopon had darker skin because she'd never seen anyone of his race before. He replies that the creator thought it would be more fun to create all sorts of humans. They all exist because they are wanted, and the same creator that made him gave Ymir Titan powers. Although he knows that this may seem silly to some people, he thinks it's great that us humans are free to think what we want, and Onyankopon's view makes a lot of sense to me. If you're alive, you're wanted, you're supposed to be here, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The world is telling Eldians from the island that they shouldn't exist, but Eren rightfully refuses to accept this view. He wasn't born into this world just to take himself out of it without a fight. Lastly, I will mention that it's so funny when Levi speaks with the Marleyans on the ships in the beginning. After he gets insulted, called filthy, and is accused of liking pig piss, he later tells another group that they'll love it on the island as long as they love pig piss. That made me laugh so much. But yeah, that is it for this episode. As always, let me know your thoughts on it. If you read the manga, did you like the way this was animated? And if you haven't read the manga, what do you expect to see happening next? Let me know. If you do enjoy seeing these Attack on Titan episode reviews and want to keep them coming, then the best thing you can do is Warhammer smash that like button and share this video with any Attack on Titan fans that you know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial. Hit that notification bell and select all, or you will miss future Attack on Titan videos. And while you wait for the next insane episode to drop, you could actually check out our new Anime Virgin podcast, where right now we're actually reliving Attack on Titan with someone who's never watched it before, making him the anime/Attack on Titan virgin. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, reliving the series from the beginning and seeing how someone who's not an anime fan actually reacts to it, then I'll put the link in the description, or you could just search up the Anime Virgin podcast. And I especially want to thank the Patron Squad over on Patreon and here on YouTube who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank the Patron of Legend, the one acknowledged by Lord Twigo himself, and the most donated champion of the world, Alpha Sigma, and are the 1-tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans, Ingrata, The World, Acquire Respect, Pate Hefa, Liam Thompson, Aljatal, Dr. Cortman, Johnny Boy Draws, Emperor Otaku, Spidey Life Tanel, Baked Buddhist, and Tungsten Tarkus. And our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Steelers, Angel Cruz, Anatoly Kazatsky, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Jessica Kayla Fond, Rathuan Deora, Alicia Actor, Bonnie Parks, Hinokami and Water, The Red-Haired Raven, Joanne Garcia, Jack Watches Anime, Fatboy Games, Deadly Saint, Matthew Cruz, and Anthony Schreiber. Thank you all so much. If you enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these epic people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord where we talk about anime life and of course dank memes. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also join the YouTube channel by clicking that blue join button next to the subscribe button that you've hopefully already destroyed. So yeah, you can support more content that way if you prefer, and whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!